Hey everybody, this is the Picky Fingers Banjo Podcast. I'm Keith Billick, and I'm glad you're here. As always, I hope you are ready to kick back and relax and hear all about the instrument that brings us all together, and that's, of course, the banjo. That is what this podcast is all about. Banjos and the people who love them is what I like to say. So, if you have anybody in your life who loves the banjo, maybe even a few of them who just don't know it yet, please spread the word and share links to the podcast or share posts on social media. It all helps, folks. And if you want to be the kind of listener who doesn't just do the bare minimum and really goes the extra mile to support the show, well, here's how you do that. One way is to hit up the merch store. That's over at banjopodcast.com, and I have special news for any of you who might wear small or extra small sized t-shirts. You are in for a real treat because I have a bit of a closeout overstock sale, whatever you want to call it, on those sizes. It's going to be ridiculously low prices. Go check it out, banjopodcast.com. But even for the rest of you, you will see the official Picky Fingers Podcast logo, t-shirts, stickers, hats, hoodies, and also the theme music with banjo tablature. And you can feel good that you supported a hungry family of 5 in suburban Detroit, Michigan, and are helping to keep the lights on here at Picky Fingers HQ. The other way to support is by becoming a VIP, very important picker of the show. That's over at patreon.com/banjopodcast. For as little as $3 per month, you can help support the show and you get amazing rewards in return. So check all that out, patreon.com/banjopodcast. As always, if you have any comments, questions, or concerns, email me, pickyfingersbanjopodcast@gmail.com.
In a distant scene like a fever dream, a gypsy city stands alone. There your prayer to a wooden beam, strike a match and watch it glow. All God's children will gather there, praise the dust and breathe sand, laying down the loads they bear. All God's children will gather there, all God's children will gather there, praise the dust and breathe the sand, laying down the loads they bear. All God's children will gather there.
Today we have a freshly picked episode doing a very close look at the brand new album from East Nash Grass titled All God's Children. Now, East Nash Grass is one of those bands that to me seems almost impossible not to like. They have that elusive knack for sounding both classic and traditional, but also fresh and new all at the same time. They are each true masters of their instruments, and the band features multiple singers and songwriters to keep listeners interested and on their toes. And they deliver all of that with their trademark sense of humor and deep respect for bluegrass and country music. And here to discuss all of that with me is their intrepid banjo player, Cory Walker. Now, Cory was featured way back on episode 83. So if you want to hear about his upbringing and background and influences, scroll down and listen to that. Or listen to this episode right now to hear our banjo-centric deep dive into All God's Children by East Nash Grass. So Cory, first of all, how are you? It's been several years since we last spoke for the podcast, and we did a featured interview on you back then, and here again to talk about some new recordings. So always great to see you, and I don't know, just catch us up on how things have been the last 4 or 5 years or whatever.
Yeah, well, it's good to see you too, Keith. I'm always trying to stay busy, and that includes anything from teaching, which I do very little of these days, also playing on different records and trying to write actual songs with some buddies, and of course staying busy with East Nash Grass, and then all types of side recordings, side bands, staying busy
Yeah.
all the time.
Amazing. So, yeah, we are here to talk about East Nash Grass, and I'm sure the songwriting bit will come up as well, but we have all the banjo people listening, so I definitely want to make sure we mention that since the last episode, you did have a solo album come out called School Project. And I don't know, I can highly recommend that to any fans of inside the box bluegrass banjo, but also like spilling out over the edges of the box a bit. So I'm a huge fan of that, man. So good work. And I wanted to make sure people knew about that, even though it's not going to be like the focus of this episode is go check it out.
Well, yeah, thanks a lot. Yeah, it was fun. It was fun recording that. I kind of took it piece by piece. I would realize that I wanted to record this song or these 2 or 3 songs, and instead of waiting to have everything, organized in my notes, just to get it going, I would do like, a session where, we recorded 1 or 2 or 3 tunes. And then after I had those done, then I would use that to inform me as to the next songs, to kind of make it kind of a cohesive whole,
well-rounded selection and all that.
Yeah, because, I just didn't know exactly what it was to look like, in the beginning. And I kind of just, pieced it together to make sense,
Well, I dig it, and there's definitely some wild banjo playing on it. Did you compose that Made in France piece? That's definitely like sort of the more noteworthy, noticeably kind of different one on there.
Yeah, no, actually, I wish I did, but that's a Borelli Legren tune. The fantastic gypsy guitarist. It's a really, really cool tune. Yeah, very, very like Django kind of.
Exactly.
But I mean, when you have the guys on that track like David Greer and Billy Contreras and was it Jeff Saunders and Harry Clark,
and they can hang,
and Gavin Largent. Yeah, it was just like very easy to be inspired in the moment.
Very cool. And I know you don't want to pick favorites, but you mentioned that you've been doing a lot of other like sideman recordings and stuff. Anything like of particular note that you're really proud of, or that you had maybe an extra influential hand in that we should be aware of?
Yeah, well, there's several things that aren't out yet. One being a new Section House record. There's one song that is out, and it's called My Long, Skinny, Lanky Sarah Jane. Pretty much everything else on the record is very improv based. There's only 2 vocal songs on that record, and of course Section House is myself, Gavin Largent, Jeff Parton, who plays bass in East Nash Grass, Jake Stargell, on guitar, Aaron Ramsey on mandolin, and Brian McDowell on fiddle. That's one. I had a lot of fun playing on Jason Carter and Michael Cleveland's record that just came out. That was really an honor to be part of that, and so many great players on it and great songs. And
yeah, tough to go wrong with those guys for sure.
Yeah. Gosh, I played on a Morgan Wallen track. I don't know I don't know when it comes out or if it comes out or in what capacity. It's not on his new record. So I don't know what they're using it for, but that was wild. He's a really nice guy, really chill, and
hey, whatever it takes to get banjo to the masses, you know?
Hey man, and I didn't see this chair throwing side of him at all, like he was so cool.
That's only if you play banjo like me on his records, then he throws chairs at you, but fortunately you have the upper hand.
Yeah, well, I would disagree with that. But I've been working on this project with two of my friends, Harry Clark, who plays mandolin in East Nash Grass, and Christian Ward, who now plays fiddle with the Del McCurry Band and the Traveling McCurrys. We've been working on a songwriters record, but with a full band. All the songs on there are either songs that two of us wrote together or all three of us wrote together. And I'm really excited about that as well. Christian and Harry, they're so great at songwriting. They're just some of the most creative people I've ever met. And we just started writing all together, and it just came up, man, we should record some of this stuff, This is good. I think this stuff is good. So that's another thing coming down the pike as well.
Well, we're going to be talking about your songwriting here in a few minutes. So yeah, hold that thought. So yeah, moving to East Nash Grass, the last time we spoke, the band was basically just like a really good pickup band doing the like Dee's Lounge Monday night residency. And since then, there's obviously been an effort to take the show national, which now you're headlining festivals and getting IBMA award nominations. And I guess take me through that kind of decision after like several years of kicking it at Dee's. And yeah, what was that all about, trying to shift it into a higher gear there?
Well, like so many people's story, the pandemic played a big role in the dynamics of, what to do when,
Yeah.
How the band formed is a different story depending on who you ask, in the band. I started playing around town. I guess this would have been like 2017 or 2016, something like that. Just anything that was my gig, I had to have a name for it, And I just came up with East Nash Grass because that's what it is, Yeah. And if I ask Molly Tuttle and my brother and Jeff Saunders to play this gig, and then the next gig I ask Casey Campbell and Jake Stargell and Beth Lawrence, it's still East Nash Grass, So I just thought that the name made sense. And then Harry and I were at Dee's one day. There was a band playing that we wanted to see, and the bartender came up to us, and I guess he knew that we played bluegrass, and he said he'd been trying to get a hold of one of our buddies for a long time and couldn't get a hold of him to start like a Monday night bluegrass thing. He wanted to start a Monday night bluegrass thing. His name is Joe Duda. And we were like, well, we'll do it, if you, So yeah, the first East Nash Grass show at Dee's was my brother Jared on mandolin, Ryan Kavanaugh on banjo, I was on guitar and Harry was on bass. And
Okay.
and then Ryan didn't want to do it anymore. And then I got really busy over the next several weeks for a couple different tours. And then Harry asked Luke Monday to play banjo. And so he started doing it every Monday. And then James, he asked James to play mandolin, and Harry was playing guitar, and I think Eric Fry was playing bass. Then Harry moved to Lexington because he was playing with the Wooks, and that became his new center, you know. And then so James kind of took over, you know, getting everybody together and
Band leader kind of role.
Yeah. And then just, you know, things like that happened enough times until it really seemed to solidify into a group. And after playing, I don't know, maybe 8 months or 10 months with that configuration, which would have been like 2019, James said, you know, I want to get into the studio. We should record, you know, let's record an album. And, you know, the pandemic had just hit, but we had no idea as to the severity. And really nobody knew what was going on at all. And, you know, most people, at least in our scene, seemed to think, oh, well, this will blow over. Surely, you know, we're not going to have to stop playing gigs for, you know, a year and a half or whatever, 2 years. Yeah, so that's kind of how it started. And that's a very long-winded way of saying it. That's my style, Keith. Just circle it until you wear out the listener.
Yeah, pepper the bullseye.
That's right. No direct kill, no direct shot. Just wound them.
You got to mess with them first.
Yeah, that's my style, man.
So introduce us to the new album, which is titled All God's Children. How would you, because this is the third group album, is that correct?
Yes, it is.
Okay, cool. How would you characterize this one in general, like maybe compared to the previous ones that people may or may not be familiar with?
Well, you know, I think it's a good thing when you know, each record kind of has a sound that's different from the one before, and you don't really set out to, well, we don't set out to like make this one different, you know, in this way, this specific way. It seems with this band, you know, you write songs and pretty much everybody writes in the band, not for the record or anything, but just because that's what you do. And, you know, you have more and more and more that are added to the list that you think are good or not good, you know. And you just discover new songs that you like that other people have written. And by the time the record comes around, you just kind of have a lot of things that might work. And, you know, and we all throw songs out there as ideas to record. And usually it's about the day or two before we record, if not right there in the studio. And we shoot down each other's songs rather often. That's one of the things about really being in a band, you know, like a real band where everybody has a say, you know, everybody has veto power, you know? But yeah, we just got together and this one sounds, to me, a little more modern than the last one, but I don't know. I don't know what we sound like. Honestly, it's kind of hard to, I can't explain it. You know what I mean? It's just like we play the way that we play with each other to try to make it sound the most exciting in whatever way that we can.
Well, let's dive into the songs, and I imagine we'll just stumble upon a few of these, you know, characteristics that are maybe, you know, commonalities throughout the record. And the first one goes directly to what you were just saying about the songwriting. It's the title track, All God's Children, written by Cory Walker along with Harry Clark and Christian Ward. I kind of intentionally avoided asking you a follow-up question when you said you were working on these songwriter sessions with Harry and Christian, but I guess now's a good time to talk about this song and I guess what specific role did you have in it? What's the collaboration like between the three of you?
Well, with every song that we write, the collaboration is different, Harry and Christian are really, really good at throwing phrases out there, and they're very quick with throwing darts at the board, and a lot of times, like when we really get into the spirit of writing, really when you're in it, and that's why I love it, is the feeling of real improv in the moment, just like playing,
Yeah.
The air changes, and it's like you're really able to play with things, and it's so much fun. On that one, Harry had this idea to write a song, about people gathering, and he had a couple experiences, with festivals and stuff where he just got the idea for it, and I don't know. Everybody basically, like in that trio, we kind of aren't afraid to say, no, I don't like that. That's a little too Peter Pan, whatever that means. But we seem to understand what it means, and we trust each other's musical sensibilities. It lets you not like get hung up on something. If somebody says, no, I don't like that. It's because this, and then we're like, yeah, you're right. Yeah. You can just move on and keep the flow going,
Is that why you compared it to improv? Because of that aspect of like just moving almost like a shark through water where you just have to keep going forward and get past whatever difficulty you might have had?
Yeah. I mean, I've learned a lot from recording with them. Writing with them. I've learned a lot from writing with them. Everything from methods of writing to just like letting yourself just say stupid things. Like it's the same thing as playing. Just like think real simple. And just you can take this, and flip it. You can take a line and flip it. Well, what does that mean? Or just, take this line, make it the third line instead of the first, and vice versa, until it leads you to something that is like, oh man, that's cool, because this now means something else that actually makes more sense for wherever the song wants us to go with it. That's one thing. Sometimes we'll try to write a song about this or whatever, but a lot of times it's just playing with words and meanings of words and how the vowels sound, how it rolls off the tongue. And then a lot of times we don't even know what we're writing about until we do. And it kind of like shows you as you're writing, which is really cool. It's like, I didn't know that it could be that open,
That's really cool that you're getting into that. I didn't realize that, I don't think. And then to add on to the intrigue of this, you three write it and then James sings it.
Yeah.
Like that seems counterintuitive to me. Like the dude who writes it, in this case, I guess it'd be Harry since he's one of the lead singers. He's going to sing it, of course, right?
Right, yeah.
Maybe not, of course.
Well, another thing is like everybody in the band is a great singer, so everybody needs to be showcased, and this this one just seemed to fit perfectly for James's kind of smoother, not gravelly, but kind of smoky baritone.
Yeah.
And
like a good country voice kind of thing.
Yeah. And,
And is that something that you knew right away, like before you ever even took it to the band, that this was like a James song?
Not really, but I think Harry had mentioned this might be a good one for James, man. Like just in passing, just just really casually. And yeah, it just made sense. And if it didn't sound good, which we knew it would with James, or if it didn't seem to fit, then Harry could sing it,
Yeah.
And
yeah, you have options.
That would be good. Yeah.
Take me through some of the music, and I guess the specific thing that I'm wondering about. There's this really cool, like, dissonant, unsettling thing that creeps in between some of the lines, and I think it might mostly be a dobro thing, but I thought it was really cool. And do you know what's going on there to create that tension? Is it just like some half steps or some major minor things? I didn't really have enough time to like sit down on an instrument and figure it out, but what am I hearing there?
Some will walk with the light of day. You might never find a way. Some will crawl by the light of the moon. You might learn too much too soon. All God's children will gather there. Praise the dust and breathe the sand. Laying down the law, take bear. All God's children will gather there.
The chords on it are 1, 2, 1, major 2. So like if you're playing in G, G, A, G, G, A, G. So it kind of creates, a Lydian sound. The scale would now be, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah, the sharp.
Yeah, the Simpsons, that whole thing.
Yeah.
I mean that's what we're kind of playing with really subtly on that track. I don't know about the unsettling thing, but
I think that must be it. There's just some in between the lines, just a little bit of, it's not dissonant, but it's a little tension or something.
Yeah. It's kind of blooming, like brighter, like type of thing. But
nice.
Yeah.
And apparently this was recorded at like a daycare where they just let kids come in and sing with people. Is that the situation?
Yeah. So in Madison, where we live, it's a absolutely terrible place. They have this daycare where they let anybody over 18 watch the kids. You just come in and then you watch them. And I was like, come on, Harry, we got to come up with something cool for this song. And then he was like, oh yeah, what about that daycare where they, spell care with a K because it makes it harder to look up.
Has to be kitschy. Yeah.
Yeah. They get less business because nobody can find them. And I was like, oh yeah, that'd be great. Let's go in there and then we'll get a kid to sing this song on the record. And we tracked it live right there in the daycare.
And then you don't even have to pay them that way, right? Because they're not like in the union or anything.
No,
right.
No. I mean, it's a kid, right. Like, no.
With clearly awful parents who let their kid get watched by musicians, bluegrass musicians. So
they're right if they want to.
Exactly.
I should tell you who the kid is, though.
Okay.
So the kid, the kid is actually Nash Greer, David Greer's son.
Oh, so the awful parents comment that checks out.
Now we totally just like remove all that sarcasm, that joke. But But yeah, it's David and Mariko's son, Nash. They were nice enough to let us have him sing, and you know, he says all types of stuff in Japanese too, and it's cool. People should figure out what he's saying in Japanese. You know, it's pretty interesting, and it's very cool. And it's great to have like I think he's 5. He might be 6. Gosh, I'm not exactly sure, but to have you know, a kid like rooting you on, you know, as you're playing, like, you know, woo, you know, it's awesome. Pretty cool.
Now, do you know what he was saying in Japanese, and you're just being letting it be a secret thing for people to find out, or do you not know either?
No, I made sure to to know what he was laying down, you know. But yeah, it's good. It's very relevant to the song, and it just made sense to have him on there because he's a kid and he's a bluegrass kid, and it's all God's children, you know, and all God's children. Yeah. So it's not just like English, you know, like he's speaking a lot of Japanese throughout the song, which is cool.
Sorry to interrupt this incredible episode, folks, but I couldn't go any longer without telling you about a few of the official sponsors of the Picky Fingers Banjo Podcast. Are you looking to improve your playing by learning directly from one of the world's most talented players and instructors? It sounds too good to be true, but it's a reality over at pegheadnation.com. With Peghead Nation's streaming video courses in banjo, guitar, mandolin, fiddle, dobro, upright bass, and ukulele, you can learn bluegrass, old time, and plenty of other styles. PegheadNation.com features a great lineup of courses. This is just the banjo section. You can learn beginning banjo or bluegrass banjo with Bill Evans, old time banjo with Bruce Molsky, the banjo according to Danny Barnes, contemporary bluegrass banjo with Wes Corbett, and banjo in the style of Earl Scruggs or J.D. Crowe with Bill Evans. Now, regardless of which one you choose, it's going to have high-quality video and audio production, downloadable notation and tab, play-along tracks, and plenty of tunes. And the best part is that listeners of the Picky Fingers Banjo Podcast get their first month for absolutely free. Go to pegheadnation.com, use the promo code PickyFingers, all one word, all lowercase, at checkout. That's pegheadnation.com, and the promo code is PickyFingers to get your first month free. The Picky Fingers Banjo Podcast is also sponsored by Elderly Instruments. Elderly isn't just a retail store, it is an institution for banjo players and string musicians of all types. Family owned since 1972, the good folks at Elderly have discovered that the secret to becoming the world's most trusted source for new, used, and vintage instruments, it isn't that complicated. You provide the best selection of high-quality instruments and accessories for all price ranges, and then you stand behind those products with the industry's best customer service. If you can't make it to their Lansing, Michigan showroom, that's okay too. They ship worldwide and are always available to help. Visit elderly.com or call them up at 517-372-7880. And speaking of family businesses, Eric Sullivan of Sullivan Banjos knows a thing or two about that. The Sullivan family has been at the forefront of the banjo-making world for decades now. I bought my Sullivan banjo brand new in 2004, from Elderly Instruments, by the way, and I swear that it sounds better and better every time I play it. The great news is that the famous tone and craftsmanship of Sullivan banjos is still available. Give Eric a call at 502-365-5022 to discuss building your dream banjo today, or visit sullivanbanjo.com. That's 502-365-5022 or sullivanbanjo.com.
The Picky Fingers Banjo Podcast is sponsored by Bluegrass Country Radio, America's oldest bluegrass, old-time, and Americana station. Shows are curated by real DJs, not computer algorithms. From classic bluegrass and traditional country to the best current artists, you'll find it all streaming at bluegrasscountry.org and on the station's free smartphone apps. That's bluegrasscountry.org.
The next one, Hill Country Highway, one of Harry's songs. And I guess the thing that I noticed with this and the thing that I think separates East Nash Grass in general from a lot of other bands that just play through traditional sounding bluegrass songs is the creative but subtle arrangement ideas that you guys have. And this song has a few examples of that. Like I'm thinking of, there's like an alternate chord progression after the banjo solo that comes in just for the heck of it, I guess.
Yeah.
There's like a little bit of a fake out ending thing, and just like little things that aren't jarring, but just set it apart. And I guess is arrangement kind of a band effort, and I imagine just the long years that you've been playing makes it a bit more natural. But yeah, just talk about how you approach some of that.
Yeah, I mean, in the band, everybody has different roles that they play, and all the time keeping our ears on and our minds open to anything that anybody says, or suggests. That's so crucial, and it's a practice, because if you have an idea in your head and it really checks out, with you, you want to see it through so you can hear and really test if your idea works. But if somebody doesn't agree with it, you have to know that they see blind spots of yours, and vice versa. So, but arrangement is really key. I mean, to me, and I think to everyone. I'm not throwing shade at all, but you hear so many songs and it's like what's going to happen. And it's like you might as well just play the first verse and the chorus and the solo after it, just over and over. Just that first verse, first chorus, first solo. Because nothing is coming around the pike, that's going to surprise you or be any different. And I think that, a track or a song or a solo or whatever, optimally should have like a nice shape, like mountain peaks. It should look beautiful. And I guess that's something that you kind of just try to see in your mind, or you just feel it, But I think things should have a convincing and beautiful shape. That's something that Billy Contreras talks about when about soloing. Like everything should have peaks and ridges and arcs, and it should have shape. And so and you don't really know how to arrange it until you kind of at least know the song and know what it sounds like with the band. And then you look at the paper and start writing it out, and, you kind of play the song, imagine it in your head as you're writing. And then you'll add a number and you'll go, that doesn't seem to be as cool as something else might. Let's take away that last beat. Oh, actually, what if we added 3 there? And that'll make more sense. Everything needs to feel like it fits right, and in an interesting way, not just like a square way. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe if you develop a sensibility when something is getting predictable in the way that you were describing, and you need to find a way out of that if that's your sensibility at that moment. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And, and I'll tell you, we'll record a song and then just just decide not to use it and, keep it for later, or maybe we won't ever use some, I like to record too many songs and then whittle it down,
That's a good problem to have.
Yeah.
For sure. Let's move on to the next one, Following You. Great song by James, beautifully delivered by Maddie, but of course, we have important banjo things to discuss on this one,
yes.
specifically that you are playing in the key of C sharp with a low-tuned banjo. So what are the details of this one?
I am using the gold tone missing link Bela banjo. It just seemed to make sense to have kind of that, big country Bela sound. It just worked well because I think the
Is it even lower than that?
I think big country's an F. Or is it E? I can't remember, but yeah,
I thought it was E, but I could very well be wrong.
That's probably it. Yeah. So, the missing link banjo. I guess it's like a baritone, considered a baritone banjo, and it's tuned to open C generally.
Okay.
But I think that's the standard for it with the strings that come on it when you get one, and instead of capoing. On the first fret, I just tuned everything up one fret to where I was playing out of open C sharp.
C sharp, yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's a really cool, unique sound for sure.
Thanks. Yeah. That was one that James and Christian Ward, who we were talking about, wrote together. And Maddie just crushes it.
Next one, In Such a Short Time, a song by Roy McMillan, who I was not familiar with. I admit I had to look him up. Any idea where you guys got this song from?
James brought it to the table one day in the studio, and it was actually it was done in 3/4 time and had a longer form, and we kind of changed the shape of it to where we liked it better,
Well, that must be the reason for the ending, because you play it out of 4/4, but it has the 3/4 time tag, which is a really cool touch. I'm gonna have to steal that idea, actually.
Yeah. I can't remember whose idea that was, but it seemed to make sense.
Yeah, it's cool. And hats off on the banjo solo, a nice, good old-fashioned blazing bluegrass banjo kind of thing on this one.
Thanks. Yeah, it was pretty fast, but hey, sometimes you have to play fast.
And I like you put in just enough single string work, like right at the very end, that it punctuates it very nicely in a way that I appreciate. So,
thank you.
People out there are listening. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
And speaking of other tuned banjos, the next one is The Love We Gave Up by the bassist, Jeff.
All the lies, you tried deceiving, but I already knew you'd given up on me. Now I'm broken, 'cause my heart still believes in the love that you gave up so easily. We didn't have to fall apart. Here we lie in pieces. I should have known from the start. I just couldn't see. Oh, I'm broken, 'cause my heart still believes in the love that you gave up so easily.
I actually played it capo 1 out of D.
Okay.
I played, recently I've been playing it capo 3 out of, C.
Okay.
C shape. But for the recording, that's what I did. And it's a nice tune, kind of like a Tony Rice kind of folky vibe to it,
Yeah. Have you experimented with playing out of E flat open to use like the open G strings? I feel like that's unexplored territory that might have some cool possibilities, but I don't have the guts to do it myself, I guess.
Yeah, I actually wrote a tune for that purpose, and maybe I'll release it one of these days. But it's
Okay.
nice. It's nice to. You have so much going on. Open G, for E flat, like
Yeah.
pretty much the only thing that really, is a bit off. It would be the second string, but everything else works really easily.
That's my thought exactly, which is why I think more people should probably mess with that, but sounds like you're on the way. That's cool.
Thanks.
Another one of your songwriting pieces, Bend in the Road. Is it Bend in the Road or just Bend?
I don't know. I think it's Bend in the Road.
Okay. Because, the copy I got says Bend, but then I saw a band posting about, sounds like maybe it changed at some point.
Hey, man, who knows? Who knows?
I mean, you wrote it. I think you can just decide and
Yeah,
have that be correct.
I like Bend in the Road. I think that's what we had decided, but we were wondering at one point if we should just name it Bend. But I'm pretty sure it's Bend in the Road. Well, yeah, it is. That's how it came out as one of the singles on Spotify and all the streaming platforms. So, yeah, Bend in the Road.
Is this the first single off the record?
The first one was Following You, and then the second one was this. I can't remember. I think the second one was Bend. Yeah, I don't know.
So when I asked you about maybe what this record sounds like and compared to other ones, I'll tell you something that I think I notice, and that's and Bend in the Road is like a tune that really illustrates it. I feel like East Nash Grass is evolving toward this sound that I actually consider slightly more old-timey, where there's like a lot more ensemble melodies, old-timey style of vocals that mimic that instrumental melody. And I think there's a few tracks on this record, but this is definitely one of them.
Mind your speed, don't grind the gears. Pull your hat down past your ears. Don't wave when you pass by, though you have no reason why. 7 days, the same road, 7 nights, the same old clothes. Nowhere else I can stay. Guess I'm bound to get away.
Definitely, yeah. It does seem to be part of our sound, kind of that old time thing where old time meets bluegrass. And I like thinking of, as the melody or whatever riff as kind of like an opportunity to kind of have a rock and roll, an earworm that people just want to keep hearing, like if it's a good riff and or melody, which a lot of times we just make part of the melody the riff,
Yeah.
But if it's a good one, then people want to hear it again, like that is the song to them. At least that's how I feel when I hear a riff, or a part of the melody or the full melody that just kills, I just want to hear it again, after you've told me more of the story, then take me back to the riff and remind me why I'm here,
Yeah, it's a cool sound. I mean, there's a reason that rock bands play riffs and old time musicians play unison melodies. It's a cool sound.
Yeah, there's plenty of other opportunities to play other ways, you know. It's really important to play make the band, whoever you're playing with, sound the best that they can. And then you'll sound the best that you can, instead of just trying to put stuff in there when it doesn't really seem to make sense, you know, but still doing it anyway. That can be really just a lame, sometimes ugly sound, you know. You have to embrace what the whole is after you've decided your part, and then you go that route, and then you just keep everything maintained, you know, like well maintained, and just try to make it sound strong and powerful and exciting.
That's like a really good summary of how the record goes, especially because half of these songs probably don't even have a banjo solo in them.
Yeah,
I would say. And it seems like a lot of the work that you're doing is backup. I mean, we always play backup way more than we do anything else, but I think you just explained it perfectly why that's the case for this one.
Yeah, it's not about you. And then if you look at it that way, then you will sound the best that you can. It's about like serving anything but yourself. And then you've actually done what you're supposed to do for yourself. And so it kind of comes around, and then it sounds right. You know, it sounds like you're doing what you're supposed to do.
I know that rules and music aren't really a thing, but if you can generalize, are there some rules that you follow in terms of backing up? Because you have a band that can be very dense, especially when there's a dobro involved.
Yep.
You know, there's fiddle, dobro, mandolin, guitar, bass, your banjo, tons of singing. Like it's a very dense sound, or it can be if you're not careful.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any, I guess I'll just keep calling them rules, even though we know that we break them all the time,
right,
about how you back up, say, a fiddle or a dobro or a mandolin? Is there something that's just like your default go-to style for that?
Well, it depends. You know, it depends. Like backing up the fiddle. Well, what is she doing? Is she playing one of those riffs? You know, is she in charge of like getting that out there? If so, then you know you might want to amp up the intensity. So often, to me, it's not about the instrument. It is, that's part of it, but it's about what part of the song and where in the song you are. You know, the shape thing again, you know?
Yeah, the arc, right, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you have to like play respectfully. I don't think about it. In retrospect, you know, generally I'm going to play a little more out front, backing up the fiddle compared to the mandolin or the guitar, you know. And when we play with dobro, you know, I'll kind of give it a little bit of gas too. Another thing too is you try to stay out of the way of the actual notes, the octaves, you know, specifically in what octave people are playing. That's how you can really start contributing to a jumbled sound, you know. If you're like right there next to them playing.
It's just a cluster, yeah.
Right. And like if James is taking a lead on guitar or playing a melody, like I play pretty way back and just kind of try to just accent certain parts of the beat that I want to stab out kind of for dynamics, you know, or just general feel. What does the groove feel like? Just so I'm still contributing. It's not that I'm trying to say much. I'm just trying to, you know, give them a bed, you know, to be able to
sure.
stand up on straight and do what they can to the best of their abilities.
That makes sense. I'm going to jump ahead to the last track, Jump Through the Window. I don't really know that I have a specific question on this other than to just comment that it's just a really cool arrangement. Definitely stands out on the album as being a little unique, you know, with the unison vocals, and just there's something different about the sound of it.
Jump through the window, jump through the window, you my J, you my J, you my wake up my people, that's the thing, you can't sit down in the night for jumping through the window, nail hooks, trouser, hooks, nail.
Yeah, well, on that one, I think we had the biggest opportunity for one to kind of stretch out a little bit in our solos and play more modern. But the song was written by Brenna McMillan and Maddie Denton, and it's based off of a Liberian like chant, almost like
Okay.
Pop Goes the Weasel.
So that vocal style makes a lot more sense with knowing that.
Yeah, and that's kind of where it came from. Brenna has many adopted siblings from Liberia, so she heard this like chant, and she tried to create a song out of it, and I'm really happy with how that one turned out. Like I said, it's always nice to be able to stretch out and play more modern.
You
When it makes sense. Yeah. When it makes sense.
100%. That's the last track, but let's talk about the recording itself. I think it sounds fantastic. All the vocals come through beautifully. All the instruments are really well represented. Take us through the studio magic of it all.
Yeah. So Jake Stargell recorded it. Great guitar player. He's our good buddy. And we recorded it at Richard Smith, Killer Fingerstyle guitar player's studio, Tunesmith Studio, right outside of Nashville. We just took, I think we did three different sessions. He mixed it. Ron Rice, Tony, Larry Wyatt's brother, mastered it. And I don't know.
Yeah,
what am I
great.
missing? I don't know. I'm missing everything.
I mean, I guess the things that I'm usually curious about are, do you guys track certain things live and then overdub solos and vocals, or what's the setup with that?
Our general MO is track it live. And if for some reason we're having an issue, then you can just either do another pass or you can overdub. But we try to not do overdubbing, because while it's essential sometimes, if somebody's overdubbing, the people that they're overdubbing over cannot hear them. So
Obviously,
they're not going to respond in a way that would complement, let's say, a soloist the best that they could. And so it's always so much better if it can be live, but we understand that sometimes it doesn't work out for whatever reason.
Yeah. Now, is that true even for vocals?
Yeah. On
Wow.
For instance, Bend in the Road, that's one take. Everything, that's just completely one take. Vocals, everything.
Yeah, that's really impressive.
Yeah, it's fun.
I mean, you already mentioned the Missing Link banjo. What other banjo are we hearing? Is it just one other one besides the Missing Link? And what is that?
I played my my 1928 Gibson Granada conversion with a McPeak conversion ring, so the rim is not cut.
Okay.
And it has a Tim Davis neck on it. I ordered it just a bit too big, but I'm starting to get used to it.
Too big as in wide or depth? Or
I
just...
like the width, I think, but yeah, the depth is a bit extreme feeling to me now.
Okay.
But now I know. But I love the neck. Anybody that needs a custom neck, he's pretty much the guy that I know of. The single guy that is willing to, do any measurement,
Get crazy.
Yeah. And I really appreciate him for that, because I always took my banjos to Robin Smith, who was fantastic. And of course, he passed away. So many banjo players, more progressive banjo players that want like a compound radius on their neck, have had a real tough time. But Tim has stepped in there, and I'm very grateful for that.
Now, are you on Team Compound Radius?
I am.
Is that you too? Okay.
Yeah, I am.
Me too. So let me ask you this too. What capo are you happy with? Have you found a capo that you're happy with? Because I feel like none of them that I try really nail the curve in a way that works for everything that I need it to.
Yeah.
So what's your solution?
Well, I had a capo, an Elliott capo, that worked perfectly on my Robin Smith neck. And I just, one day in Robin's shop, I was like, what do I need to do, for this new neck, as far as a capo, what do you suggest? He's like, what capo do you have? I said, well, I've got this Elliott. He's like, let me see it. And he just like bent it. Like he took a hammer and boom, boom, boom. And he was so great at what he did. It was perfect, absolutely perfect. And that's all he did was just like hammer it. I'm sure he didn't use like a hammer, but he used essentially a hammer and just bent it to where it was perfect. These days I'm using a Barry Collins offset capo, which, I mean, if anybody is looking for a new capo, he makes incredible capos. And it's an offset capo, meaning it offsets the bottom of the capo to where it's further back, so you have more room for your hand. So it's kind of hard to explain.
Is this online? So like, is there a website I'm going to find?
I don't know, but you can find him on Facebook and you can send him a message. Barry Collins. He was selling his capos at the Floyd Country Store for a while. I don't know if he still is.
Okay.
But fun. Yep, that's it.
Cool. I mean, I'm not necessarily like looking for a capo. The ones I have do kind of good enough, but they, I'm still in the search for something that's perfect. So
right,
whatever.
Yeah.
I'll try anything.
Absolutely.
Cool. I don't know if you're a recording nerd, but do you happen to recall like microphones that you used or like specific positioning to get the sound that you got for the record?
Yeah. I mean, I love a U89. I think they're really great for banjo tone. They're flatter, and it kind of takes away some of the harshness that sometimes can come out of a banjo.
I've never heard that.
A U89?
Yeah. Harshness from a
yeah, it's mostly just young college kids that think they know what they're talking about. But we know that the banjo is actually very pleasant always.
And a status symbol, yeah.
Yeah, well, that's another discussion. But, I didn't use a U89 on this project, though. I don't even know what I used. I'll have to ask Jake Stargell. But
okay.
But as far as the position, the best tone comes from the bottom part of the head. So like,
closer to the floor.
Yes.
Is what you mean?
Yes.
Yeah.
Below the hand, your right hand. I think that that's the sweet spot, And
was it just a single mic or are you stereo mic'd?
Gosh. Yeah, it was stereo. All of it was stereo.
Okay. tell us the websites to go to obtain our copies, either digitally or, hard copy.
Yeah. So you can go to our website, eastnashgrass.com. We'll have vinyl there and CDs and of course shirts and stickers and koozies. We'll sell you anything, any item. And I'll say this, and then there won't be koozies on the website or whatever. I haven't checked the website in a little while, but we always keep a bunch of stuff on there. So if you want a hard copy, just go to the website, eastnashgrass.com.
And that I'm sure that also has the tour dates for people to buy tickets and come see you in person as well, right?
Yep, it has all of our dates, how to get in touch with our agent. If you want East Nash Grass in your town, just a little bit of everything, all the essentials.
Yeah, very good. Well, all right, Cory, I think that wraps it up. Again, I'm a huge East Nash Grass fan, so I appreciate you talking to me and getting me this album. I've been enjoying listening to it as always. So yeah, thanks for everything and great to catch up.
Hey, thanks a lot, Keith. It was very fun, and thanks for having me on the podcast.
Thanks for tuning in, folks. That's going to do it for that interview and this episode of the Picky Fingers Banjo Podcast. Just a reminder to my small and extra small sized fans, your sized t-shirts are on super closeout overstock sale over at banjopodcast.com, and of course feature the world famous official Picky Fingers logo. Go check that out. Or become a VIP supporter of the show at patreon.com/banjopodcast. You can always reach out to me, pickyfingersbanjopodcast@gmail.com. That's going to do it for me. I'll see you all next time.
Maybe I just had the Georgia shake, where you just are so nervous to talk to Keith Billett that you're moving your knee constantly up and down.
I get that a lot.
Yeah, for good reason.
Settle down.
All right.